Hello, class number 6. Kind of Twilight Zone like. Class 6, lead generation 101. How are we going to get our leads? Open houses. Why? Cheapest way to get a buyer's lead. Only 1% sell through an open house. The main reason for an open house is for the agent to get buyers. For every listing you have, you should get 2 buyers. So how are we going to do open houses? Well, you must shadow 2 open houses before you can host one. You're going to send a mass email to the office and ask to shadow, which you should have done numerous times already before this class. And then you would send a mass email to the office and ask if anybody needs coverage for an open house. Check your email. People are always sending emails asking for people to cover. So check your email. What do you do for an open house? You want to create a listings to leads landing page. You can go to our Facebook page and put in listings to leads, and it will show you how to do that. You want to then post it onto Facebook. You can choose to boost the post. They say it's best to do advertisements Thursday through Sunday, like have it run for those 4 days. And once you boost the post and everything, you would also then want to share it onto your private page so that you can get some more people viewing it. Arrive early enough to set up your signs and your sheets. So you need to have your own open house signs. Just because you're doing an open house for someone doesn't mean that they're not doing an open house. So you're expected to have your own open house signs. So if you have not ordered open house signs through the front desk, and you don't have any, then you need to go pick some up at Home Depot or something like that. But you should go ahead and order your open house signs and officially have your own. So you also want to arrive early enough and go around and knock on the neighbors' houses and then personally invite them to the open house. And say we're having, from this hour, like let's say you're doing 12 to 3. Say from 12 to 1, we're having VIP section for the neighbors to come and look at the house. What you're doing is you're inviting all the nosy neighbors to come that are going to take up your time in that first hour so you get them all at once. So then if other people are coming and they're people that are actually going to be your clients, you're not being distracted by the nosy neighbors. So you go, you knock on the doors, you invite everybody to the open house, and you never know, you might knock on one of those doors and they decide that they want to sell too. It happens. Here's things that you should have. You should have your business cards. You should have a sign-in sheet for people to sign in. This is how you're going to follow up with people after the open house and or with their agent. So if you don't want to be poaching other people's clients either. So one of the very first things I ask when they walk in is if they're working with someone. If they are, just have them write down that agent's name, and if they appear to be very interested in, then you would just call that agent and tell them, that Sally and John showed up and they seemed interested in the house. You might want to ask them about them or him. Make sure you have plenty of pens that work. I talked about your own open house signs already. They're about $200. When I made this one, it was Shannon. Right now, you would do it through Lee, or you can buy them at Home Depot. And you also want to have a flyer about the property. You can do this through MLS. You can do it through Listings to Leads. You can do it through eEdge. There's several different places you can print off flyers for the property. Phone calls. Every day you should be calling. Whether, ideally you're on the phone or lead generating. So lead generating is also the phone. A lot of people think just the phone, but it can also be posting stuff on social media. It can be you out in the world talking to people face to face, but definitely phone calls are a huge part of it. And you should time block your mornings to do those phone calls for new business. You should not let old business or current business sidetrack you from your new business, because if you're getting busy with busy work, then you're going to find that in 3 months you don't have any money because you weren't working on getting any new business. So phone calls are very important. And again, we have Power Hour every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 9:30 to 11. Yes, I know I say power hour, and that's an hour and a half, but the first half hour, we either practice scripts or you get yourself ready, because from 10 to 11, it's phone calls, no chit chat, just making those phone calls. Who are you calling? You're calling your sphere, which we've talked about more than once. It's everybody you know, all the people that you communicate with, whatever clubs you do, whatever circles you run in, that's your sphere. Expireds. Expireds come out every day. The biggest time for expireds is the beginning of the month, and the biggest day for expireds is actually January 1st. FSBOs, for sale by owners, so easy to get those. They're all over the place. People drive around and call it driving for dollars. Some people, and are farming and prospecting. So you're going to be farming around and prospecting around your open houses, as well as other just solds and just listed, stuff like that. Where do we get the numbers from? All right, this is where you get your numbers from. There is homeatry.com. It's free. Spokeo is inexpensive and pretty good. Cole Realty Source is $1,400 a year for home and cell phone numbers and emails. You definitely, if you're going to do that, I think there's a cheaper version for like $400, but that's just the home numbers. Most people don't have home numbers anymore. So you want to pay that extra. And I know it sounds like a lot, but that's just a little more than $100 a month. And if you only get one listing or buyer out of that by using Cole Realty Source, it paid for itself, because your average commission is $10,000. But while you're in coaching, I will give you, so Cole Realty Source is for street numbers. I'm not going to go through and search expireds for you. That's too time consuming. But if you are doing an open house, give me the streets around there, and I will email you the streets so that you can call around them and do prospecting. And the same is like if there's a just sold you want to call around, things like that. Just don't send me a list of 20 streets. Okay, that's a little excessive. But anyway, please do it. And if you do it in the morning and I don't respond to you, that's because I'm time blocked for making my phone calls. So if you do it in the evening or after 12 o'clock, then I will get it to you by the end of the day. Okay. Let's see so Cole Realty Source is best for farming and prospecting. Vulcan 7 is around $250 a month, and that gives you expireds and FSBOs only. It also comes with a dialer so that you can be plugged in and not wasting your time dialing numbers, because the system's doing it for you. And it updates the system every day with expireds and FSBOs. RedX is a form of Vulcan 7. I personally haven't used it, but some people have, and it's cheaper, but not as good of numbers. So that's where we get our numbers from. Here is a just sold script that I have come up with that I like to use. And it's like, hi, I'm Amanda with Keller Williams Realty. I was just calling to let you know that you have new neighbors. 123 Main Street just sold for $400,000. When you get a chance, you should welcome them to the neighborhood. Do you know anybody interested in buying, selling, or investing in real estate? Would you be interested in receiving my monthly newsletter to stay on top of the market? So these are like probably the easiest phone calls to make, because people want to know about their new neighbors and they want to know what the house down the street sold for. And if we were live in class right now, I would be handing you a whole bunch of streets to call, and we'd be calling them. So even if they're mean and hang up, we still write them a thank you card and put your business card inside. And if you got their email, you want to make sure you add them to your database in eEdge and Command immediately. Get out your phones. It's time to call. So now what you can do right now is you can go back and look at that script and ask me for street numbers if you want. And you can go and you can call around just solds. It's up to you. Homework. Do or shadow an open house. I really hope that by this time you are almost done shadowing, are done shadowing, and about ready to do your own open house. Please view at least 10 houses, practice your scripts, plan your week. Add at least 10 people to your database. Share your app with at least 3 people.